Okay, so the first fifth chop skill we're gonna start with Adele is Infinity Blades. Infinity Blade, yeah, this ability hits like a freaking truck. Okay, so power ranking definitely an S rank. In power strength, this thing is crazy in hitting lines. You summon like 50 swords. I think they nerfed it. It's like 40 something, like 48 or something now. But this ability still hits like a freaking truck. For utility, mobbing, you can use this for mobbing. If you can't one shot the monsters, yeah, this is pretty good for mobbing. Bossing is definitely really strong as well. Because this is you're pretty much gonna use this for bossing mainly. So mobbing is definitely very strong, S. Bossing is very strong, definitely S. The cooldown of this skill is actually not too long. I think it's 120 seconds, which is pretty nice, which makes it S rank for utility. Even though it doesn't have an iframe, this ability is still really strong. So yeah, it's a S for utility as well as in strength. Next up we have design. Yeah. If you play Adele or if you think about Adele, you're probably gonna think about this fifth chop skill. So this is also a reason why I give this a S for design. Next up we got what's that called? Legacy Restoration. This is pretty much a bossing only move. So when you use this, Adele does some stuff. She opens up her wings, and in this form, when you have this on, you could summon 2 extra Aether Sword. So the skill itself, it's pretty darn weak. Doesn't do that much hits, nor does it do that much damage. So yeah, I give it a B. It's the strength. It's about a fifth chop skill. I mean, not fifth chop skill, a hyper skill. Not that strong. Utility wise, this skill is actually only pretty much used for bossing. So mobbing, yeah, you're gonna get a D for mobbing. But for bossing, you're definitely gonna use this. And the cooldown on this skill is actually pretty darn long. So yeah, it's A for utility. Even though it does give you health regeneration when you have this on, which is pretty nice. But in every other aspect, it's meh. The design of the skill, I'll give it an S actually. Because of this skill, you have synergy with other fifth chop skills, which I'm going to show in the next clip. So this is why I give it an S for design, because this skill is pretty unique for helping you create Aether Swords, which does help your overall class. It helps out like 2 of your fifth chop skills, and it also helps out one of your next fifth chop skill. So yeah, I'll give it an S for design. Next up, we have Storm. So Storm, in my opinion, is just pretty much a budget Infinity Blades. It's pretty strong. So the strength, I give it a A. It could be a S when you have your other fifth chop skill on, the restoration wing thing. Because so depending on how much swords you have, it does X amount of lines. The maximum amount of lines it could do is 8, which is only possible when you activate the fifth chop skill. Restoration, the wing thing. So if you have the wing thing, I could definitely see it being a S, damage skill. But generally, you're not gonna combo both of them at the same time. So I'll give it a average A. Utility, mobbing, yeah, it's pretty darn good. Bossing, yeah, it's pretty darn good. But in my opinion, it's a budget Infinity Blade. So I don't really think it's gonna be S, because this skill is not really that OP in all sense. It's pretty nice to have around. Your class itself has ridiculous mobbing, so having better mobbing doesn't really help the class that much. So yeah. Next up for the design, I'll give it an A, because it's a pretty nifty skill, it helps Adele a good amount of times. So yeah, this is Storm. Last but not least, we have Adele's AoE Ruin. So Ruin is a really good skill. It hits more than your entire screen, which is pretty nice. The skill has 2 different AoE hits. So the first one is when the sword comes out, and then after that is when the sword explodes. Both times it hits a ridiculous amount of 9s, which is why this strength is an A. It's definitely stronger than your hyper skill for sure, which is why it's not a B. Utility, you can use it for mobbing. It's good for timers. It's a 1-minute cooldown, which is another reason why it's an A, because short cooldown, just like Storm. Bossing, you only use when you use it for bossing is just for like that small amount of burst that you're gonna need because it hits a ridiculous amount of lines. For design, I'm gonna give it a B because, bro, this could be just a 4th job skill. I mean a hyper skill, but just weaker. But Adele mobbing is pretty strong. So in my opinion, for Adele, if it's any mobbing hyper skills, it's not gonna help out the class that much because her mobbing is pretty darn insane. Every other aspect is just gonna be increasing DPS. So for this class, her gameplay is not going to change too much from her 5th job skills because this class itself is pretty darn ridiculous. 5th job skills, all they're going to do is just increase your overall DPS. It's not going to change the gameplay of this class by that much. Unlike other classes where you probably playing a whole different game once you get your 5th job skills. So yeah, that is it for Adele's 5th job skill. Hope you guys enjoy. If you have any different opinions, about the rankings, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you guys all next time. Peace.